So the CDC has made its new recommendations regarding those who have been vaccinated having a great deal of freedom, not wearing masks in both indoor and outdoor settings, with, of course, the obvious exceptions. So since we now have a country where, for whatever reason, there seems to be those who wear masks pitted against those who don't, those who are vaccinated against those who don't, I have to address the issue from the standpoint of my perspective as a physician. Now remember, I just want everybody to live and get through this. That's really the only thing I care about. So, people who have been vaccinated are now coming up to me and to others saying, I'm very concerned that those who are unvaccinated won't necessarily be honest, that they're going to go around without their masks and they're going to infect everyone. Well, the reality is, if you've been vaccinated, you have very little to worry about. The group that has to worry are those who haven't been vaccinated, because the degree of protection that they got from the 33% of people who have been vaccinated has now been basically eroded. So if you have not been vaccinated, understand what I'm saying clearly. Again, it's your choice. But if you have not been vaccinated, you are at greater risk than at any time since the beginning of the pandemic. The only thing you have going for you is if enough people get vaccinated fast enough, you'll get this herd immunity, which will reduce your chances of being exposed. But otherwise, if you're exposed, you've got this roulette game of either getting not sick, very sick, ICU, or death, faced just like all of us had at the beginning of the pandemic. Now again, I don't see the logic in not getting vaccinated and having hesitancy with those kinds of stakes, but I understand if that's the choice you're going to make, you run that risk. The second question has been, well, wait a minute, we're starting to see people who have been vaccinating getting breakthrough cases. Well, yes, that's been expected. But the clear point I've been saying from the very beginning is, if you have been vaccinated and you get this quote unquote breakthrough infection, you might not even know it. And if you know it, you're not going to get very sick. You certainly aren't going to end up in the hospital in the ICU. Case in point, the New York Yankees. 8 players on the New York Yankees had this so-called breakthrough COVID. They were vaccinated, and then they later got COVID. Now, how do we know that? Well, Major League Baseball players are routinely tested. But what it tells us is a lot of people are going to get COVID after they've been vaccinated, but not have symptoms. And the reason is they've been vaccinated. You don't have to be fearful of it. COVID after vaccination is just a normal coronavirus. Like, there's many coronaviruses out there that attack us and give us all forms of the cold. They're always going to be around. What we've done with the vaccine is, by and large, taken away the dramatic aspects of it. The unfortunate things we're seeing in India and around the world. Because we're vaccinated in the United States, we have that layer of protection. Once again, if you're not, you don't have that layer of protection, which is why I continue to come here week after week and say, please consider the vaccine. Again, all I want is people to be healthy and people to get through this. That's my only motivation.